Welcome back. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. The issue today, teens helping other teens play safe. This isn't about telling you not to take risks. It's about helping you make smart risks. One approach the No Regrets program uses is to have kids who have been injured come in and talk to other teens. They also get celebrities to help out. Check it out.
If you're going to take a risk out there, make it a smart risk. Because look, at the end of the day, you're young, you want to have a little bit of fun, and so you're going to do things that are naturally risky. And I'm not here to tell you don't do that, but I'm telling you, you got to be smart about it.
Look, it's great to get out there into the wilderness. We need to push ourselves, but you have to do it with the knowledge, with the training, and with the equipment.
Pushing your limits just by a little bit, not going from a 5-foot jump to a 60-foot jump.
When you're young, you might as well start and have fun while you can do it. Otherwise, your life's going to be gone and then you can't do it anymore.
You need more proof. Say dead wrong.
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought they could just reattach everything, because I've seen stuff like that on TV, but it didn't work like that.
And another young person like the one you just saw is Joey Desjardins. He's Skyping me from Van Click Hill near Ottawa, and joining me in the studio is No Regrets Senior Program Coordinator Alex Kelly. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
Joey, I want to start with you. Tell me, you were injured in a motocross bike. What exactly happened?
Yes, I was injured on June 14th of 2009 when I broke my back when I crashed my motocross. So I broke my back at T4 level, which is mid-chest down. And Smart Risk interested me because I know my injury was preventable, and I know they're now trying to help students make smart risks in their lives.
Now, what do you mean by your injury was preventable?
Because the actions that I took that day led me to crash my motorcycle. Therefore, became injured.
Can you tell me a bit more about that? Like, what exactly were you doing, or did you not have a helmet on, or what happened?
I had the helmet on. I had all the equipment. I was going too fast and into the moment with the friends all racing around, and then which created me to crash.
And you're in a wheelchair now. Can you tell me a bit about your injury now?
Yes, I'm a paraplegic, so that means I'm paralyzed from the chest down. So I need a wheelchair in my everyday life to get around.
Alex, I want to talk to you a bit about the program. How did this whole program start?
Well, Smart Risk, the organization, started in 1992. It was started by a doctor, Dr. Robert Kahn, and he was actually a cardiac pediatric surgeon. So he was a kid's heart surgeon, and he was on the transplant round, and so he was transplanting hearts from children who had died to children who needed them. And he did this over and over and over again and never really stopped to think about where the hearts were coming from. And one day he kind of... So
these are healthy kids?
Yeah,
that
healthy
just
kids.
Are dead for some reason.
Yeah, who were healthy one minute exactly, and
so
unfortunately
he's transplanting all these hearts from healthy children.
Yeah, and so he stepped back from it and realized, something has to be done where this can be prevented so that these children aren't dying. So he actually walked away from medicine entirely. He kept up his credentials, but he stopped practicing and he started Smart Risk, which is a national nonprofit dedicated to injury prevention. And one of the first programs that really kicked off Smart Risk in communities was Smart Risk Heroes. And it was a big traveling road show that toured the country. It featured a huge truck and trailer and always featured a presenter like Joey,
right,
who'd been permanently injured as a result of a preventable incident. And so that was the first show, or the first program rather.
Yeah.
And what happened out of that is we do a lot of research to make sure that our programs are viable and they're actually working in the community.
For sure, yeah.
And we found that Heroes was fantastic because it really affected knowledge and belief but it didn't affect rather behavior.
So these kids were getting the message,
hearing
what people like Joey were saying, but not changing the way they behaved.
Exactly. So they knew that they should be buckling up their helmet, but when they got on their bike, they weren't necessarily doing that.
Wow.
So out of that grew SMARTRISK No Regrets, which is the peer leadership program that Maddie and Ryan were referring to.
Great.
And so that's more of a sustained approach to keep the messaging alive.
And that's in schools right across Canada?
Right across Canada. And so in the last year, what we've done is actually redeveloped Heroes into No Regrets Live, reflecting the linkages between that and our peer leadership program, and redeveloped how we deliver it. So now the presenter goes to the school, independent of truck and trailer and tech support.
So that you don't need this big machine, this driving all across Canada. Joey can just go into a school nearby and present.
Yeah, and use all of their existing audiovisual equipment, and we're not limited by geographical location where the truck and trailer is. Now we can have presentations going on in Ontario and BC in the same day, at the same time.
Joey, how did you become a presenter for No Regrets?
I got brought into SmartRisk from a friend of mine who contacted me and told me about the organization. So just the whole message of, preventing injury through making smart risks is what attracted me to this program.
And how many presentations have you done so far?
Just a couple so far, and there's many more on the way coming up, so I'm looking forward.
And what's the experience like presenting to other students in school? What's it like for you?
It's a bit of a challenge and gets your heart going a little bit, but it's good to see what they're all paying attention and getting the message through to them.
And what gives you the idea that they're getting your message across? How can you tell? What kind of things do they say to you?
Well, they ask the questions afterwards, so you know that they're paying attention, and you can tell they're just focused in on you when you're talking to them. What
kind of questions do they ask you?
Anything from, what can I drive, or what activities can I do, or what functions do I still have? So just everything.
Why do you think they're asking questions about you specifically?
I think they're trying to put themselves in my shoes to see what their lives would be like after a serious injury.
Alex, what about people who say that this may be difficult for a kid in school to hear someone like Joey say this? I mean, how would you respond that this may be hard for students? Or a downer, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually a common question. And I think a lot of people mix up our messaging because there is a lot of injury prevention messaging out there that's focused on the negative. And it's focused on...
Don't do this, don't do that.
Yeah, it's consequence-based. This is what will happen if you crash your car. Blood, guts, and gore, that sort of thing. Whereas we
scaring the kid,
exactly,
really.
It's that scare factor.
Yeah.
Why
don't you guys do that?
Well, what we do is we focus on empowering youth to make the right decisions and giving them those tools. So our 5 key messages, buckle up, look first, wear the gear, get trained, drive sober, are all tools that they can use to prevent injury in their daily life. And we often find that if you tell somebody not to do something, especially a teenager, it's just a matter of time before they go out and try and do it themselves.
Right. Because they're not supposed to do it.
Yeah, and we also recognize that they will do it, or they may come across an incident where maybe there is, they're at a party and maybe they are drinking, or maybe they are going snowboarding, or maybe they are, going on a big road trip. And these are things that are going to happen in life, and risk is a natural, fun part of life, and you should do it, but make sure you manage your risk appropriately. So make sure that if you are going to a party that you have a safe drive home, or if you're going snowboarding for the first time, make sure you take a lesson, you get the gear on. If you're going on a road trip, look first. So plan. Make sure you have windshield washer fluid. You have gas. You know where you're going to stop on the way. Tell somebody your plans. So it's all about equipping students to make the right choices, because nobody else can make those choices for them.
And you're just casually telling me all this, but anyone who's home watching right now, and you told me before we went on air, you never use the word accident.
Yeah.
Use the word injury. You don't use the word disability. I mean, how key is that to your message?
I think primarily the accident one is a big thing, because
Why?
In our programming we say that 90% of all accidents are actually predictable and preventable as if you plan them. So it's the idea that if you really unpack an incident or an injury and you look at what really led to it. So, if you're in a car accident, that kind of negates blame. It doesn't really, there's no concrete learning from that. You can't tell what actually happened in the car accident. Whereas if you describe what happened, so if two cars collided, if there was a rollover, if the tire blew out, that actually provides a lot of learning from what happened, and people can understand what happened a lot easier.
So it's just like, well, it was an accident, there's nothing I could do
Yeah.
to prevent it.
And if you actually look up accident in the dictionary, most commonly it's defined as an unavoidable act of fate. And so that doesn't really align with the idea that 90% of all accidents are predictable and preventable.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the number one reason why teenagers are being killed in Canada right now.
Exactly. Preventable injuries, the biggest killer of youth. Injury kills more than 700 students every year, youth, in Canada, which is actually the size of the average Canadian high school. So it's like losing a high school every single year.
Joey, I wonder what you get out of the program. I know your injuries, it's only been about a year since you were injured, correct?
Right.
So it's
just over a year now.
It's quite fresh for you. What do you personally get out of doing these sorts of workshops with students?
Well, for me, I get to share my knowledge that I have through what happened to me, through my injury, and hopefully they'll get the knowledge through what I'm telling them to make smart choices throughout their life.
Do you ever feel somehow that it presents you sort of in a negative light, that you're the sort of, worst case scenario that could happen to a student? I mean, how do you see it when you walk into the classroom?
I don't see it that way. I see it as my life is still going on today. I'm still living my life, and, it's still good and great, and it's just not to let yourself get down. So hopefully I'm showing them that, this can happen, but at the same time, I'm still living my life. Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time today, Joey. I appreciate your help.
Thank you.
And Alex, I'll ask you to stay right there, because when we come back, another No Regrets presenter and how talking about her injury helps not only teenagers, but herself. Stick around.